also because obviously we all pursue our research in different ways, and with passion, we hope, but sometimes this fact, our passion and our job has to face reality of things, and in this there is also funding, which you mentioned. um, so my in my from my point of view, for what I knew about glaciology, I would say that glaciology is a bit of a little field. I would say, no offense.
It's fair.
But what I wanted to say is actually that, for example, if governments that are some, or private companies, or no matter who it is that funds researches, if they want, for example, to focus on renewable energy sources because they think they are major issue nowadays, or if they want to invest in some other fields, um, you as a researcher, what can you do, possibly something for it, or
Well, I mean, glaciology, yes, is a small field, a relatively small field, but I would argue it's actually quite an important one as well in general. So not only for things like sea level change contributions, but then also in populated areas, glaciers provide water resources. So thinking especially in South America and in the Himalaya as well. They also pose significant hazards. So things like icebergs that I was talking about before, if those things break off, they can capsize and cause tsunamis that affects the local area. And those can, in certain parts of Greenland and Canada, and other parts of the world where you have these calving glaciers, they can pose some quite major risks. You also have, as glaciers retreat, you have meltwater ponds forming, which then can catastrophically break their dams and cause huge floods. In Iceland, you've got glaciers on top of volcanoes. So we saw with the 2010 eruption of Eyjafjallajökull, always can't pronounce that. That melted the glacier. So Eyjafjallajökull is actually the name of the glacier on top of the volcano, and it completely melted that, causing huge floods, huge infrastructure damage. And so, although glaciers, you might think it's like, oh, it's one little area, there's actually lots of different things. Simultaneously, if say the Greenland ice sheet melts, say it didn't cause, well, say you disappeared part of the Greenland ice sheet, that would actually change the gravitational field of the Earth. So at the moment, because Greenland exists, it exerts its own gravitational pull, because you've got a huge amount of ice, a huge amount of mass, basically pulling everything towards it. But the thing that it pulls towards itself is the sea and the oceans. So if you get rid of that mass, if you melt Greenland, then there is no longer that gravitational pull, and that the ocean that was previously hugging Greenland, then has to go somewhere else. Okay. So then the global sea level change isn't necessarily only the amounts that is lost from the ice sheets, it's also the gravitational effects of the ice sheets as well. And this is part of the thing which is often overlooked. the way in which that's distributed is a very complex problem. But for places like Europe, for that, we need to worry. For Europe, we don't need to worry about Greenland. We need to worry about Antarctica. Because normally it's the further away it is, the bigger impact it has for that, which is again counterintuitive, but yeah, there's lots of fascinating areas to do with this.
Yeah,